There are some myths going around about gender-neutral parenting, that it's supposedly not good for kids. My group and I are here to set the story straight for everyone out there.
Myth number 1. Gender-neutral parenting is about androgyny. Not true. Myth holders would have you believe that gender-neutral parenting is about creating a genderless world by abolishing all concepts of male and female. It is thought that parents only allow non-gender toys in neutral colors and androgynous clothing, meaning no pinks, no blues, no trucks, no Barbies, and no skirts. In reality, gender-neutral parenting does not seek to force androgyny on children any more than it wishes to force masculinity or femininity on children. And contrary to many articles found in the 1970s that claimed that androgyny was the pinnacle of human evolution, meaning gender roles are solely biological, we now know that gender roles are both biological and environmental. So they seek to teach children to find their own spot on the gender continuum by raising their children without gender.
The second myth is that gender-neutral parenting will make your kids gay. Their argument is that showing gender-bending behaviors is a sign of pre-homosexuality and that it needs to be combated with gender-proper behaviors. This is completely false. Gender-bending behaviors does not mean that your kid is gay. Their sexuality is going to be whatever their sexuality is, no matter whether you're raised by same-sex couples or heterosexual couples. The only thing you're really subjecting them to is the opportunity to get picked on by other kids that see that as being different. And actually, according to Trans Active, 85% of gender non-conforming children and youth are cisgender and identify as heterosexual as adults. So this is completely false.
Myth number 3. Gender-neutral parenting is about anti-feminine or anti-masculine. Its goal is to suppress or shame a child for behaving feminine or masculine. But in reality, gender-neutral parenting is about diversity, removing limitations to gender expectations. It avoids placing artificial limits on children, saying that girls can't play football and boys can't play with Barbies. It exposes kids to a wide range of gender types and gives them the freedom to explore without judgment.
Myth 4 says that GMP is only for trans kids. They say that it should only be enforced after kids shows gender-bending behaviors and that it's to help trans kids through the difficulties of being different and that it's not beneficial to cisgender children. This is completely false. Once again, no kid knows if they're trans or not at birth, and according to transgender law and policy, only 2 to 5% of all people are transgender. Yeah, GMP might provide a safe environment and be beneficial to trans kids, but also to cisgender children for 2 reasons. It'll allow them to discover and place themselves on the gender scale so they're not so hyper-masculine or hyper-feminine, and also it allows them to question gender assumptions and learn the vast diversity in gender roles.
Myth number 5. Gender-neutral parenting is just a social experiment, meaning that parents are using their children just as for political purposes. In other words, brainstorming their children as some type of science experiment. I know you've heard of Baby Storm in Toronto and Baby Pop in Sweden. Well, according to myth holders, they are social experiments. In reality, gender-neutral parenting is no different from traditional parenting, because everything we do or say to a child is an attempt to teach the child how to function in the real world. For example, when parents say, I'm going to raise my child to be a good person, they're teaching them how to function in the world. Gender-neutral parenting is just teaching the child to be strongly feminist with a passion for equality and social justice versus the traditional gendered parent who teaches the definition of the gender binary, saying girls wear pink, are nurturing and emotional, and boys don't cry, play sports, and make money. Gender-neutral parenting breaks down the narrow definition of what a child can be.
Well, there you have it, the 5 ridiculous myths about gender-neutral parenting. I hope you agree with me and my group on these, and that you spread the word so that we can bring more of this method into households all around the world. Thanks.